I have bad knees, bad hip, bad back, bad shoulder.
81 years old and disabled.
Levothyroxine, which is for my thyroid.
Karen Howell relies on Medicaid's non-emergency medical transportation service to get to her doctor's appointments. The ride service hasn't always met the needs of its most vulnerable passengers.
3:30, they're supposed to be there. They weren't there. And I waited, and I waited. All I had was my cane because I thought I was going to get picked up when I was supposed to.
Her transportation never showed. Without knowing what to do, Karen attempted to walk. She made it 2 blocks before things took a turn for the worse.
My hip was killing me, my knees were killing me, my back was killing me, and I was huffing and puffing, and so I thought, God, I gotta sit down, you know.
Lying in the grass on the side of the road and unable to get up, she used Siri to call a cab. When her driver arrived, she physically picked her up off the ground and gave her a lift home for free.
That was like, wow, you know, an angel appeared, there she was, and because I was just frantic.
Medicaid users shouldn't have to call their own taxis. The Department of Health and Welfare has a contract with a service called MTM to provide the transportation. Since July, the provider has given 1,100,000 trips. 232 of those, the driver didn't show.
Meaning, I scheduled the trip, they didn't show up 232 times in July. Statistically, out of 111,000 trips, that's about 0.15%, 0.1%.
With such a small percentage of error, the service is successfully working. But when it doesn't, it affects those individuals in a big way.
If that's your loved one and, you know, your family member, you're a guardian of that person who's going to an important session and they're stranded there, that's one too many.
MTM provided a statement in regards to Karen's situation, which says in part, it appears that an MTM staff member did not provide the necessary information to the member on how to summon the transportation provider for the return ride. We re-educated staff to avoid this issue in the future. Jessica Taylor, 6 on your side. From the outside, it might look like an average van parked in the East Valley Middle School lot, but the unusual cargo it's carrying is helping local school children stay healthy, one tooth at a time.
We pack up the vans. We have a dental chair, we have the cart, we have our stools, we bring it right into the school. Every morning.
Delta Dental's Grins on the Go program provides free dental work for kids at low-income schools. They have 200 schools in Idaho signed up. Already, they've seen 5,000 kids in 2018 and expect to see between 10 and 12,000 by the end of the school year.
So we try to target lower income schools so that we're hitting those kids that might not be able to go to the dentist.
One of the services this dental team offers the kids is placing sealants, which means they can keep their smiles nice and healthy without missing valuable class time.
Students like Mackenzie Harms hate missing school and having all that work pile up.
I hate missing days of school because then I have to spend time making up work and then also doing that work, so it's just a ton of work.
And not to mention the price for sealants can add up fast for those without insurance.
A sealant averages anywhere from $40 to $50 per sealant. When we're at a middle school, we can place up to 16 sealants on a kiddo.
The saved time and money means kids can spend the new school year completely focused on learning and avoid the repercussions of dental decay.
So that's what we're trying to do, is help these kids not get cavities so they're not missing school and they can concentrate on their schoolwork and they're not in pain, they don't have toothaches.
Grins on the Go will be at East Valley Middle School for another 2.5 weeks, and then it's off to help the next group of middle schoolers fight some cavities. Jessica Taylor, 6 on your side.
Good morning. Ask any athlete what their favorite part of their sport is. Some might say the competition, others might say the friendship. Both of these stand true for Special Olympic athletes, and they're getting a space to combine them thanks to a group of volunteers facing challenges of their own.
Nail by nail, these walls are going up to give Special Olympic athletes in our area a new home for crafting their skills.
To have a place where they can gather together, be accepted, celebrate each other, reveal the champion from within, and feel safe and accepted and not judged is so tremendously important for the population we serve.
And the hands that are helping build it are facing adversity of their own.
Ultimately, they've just sat in prison for 5-6 years before they generally come to us. We do have people that are upwards of 15 years, so in and out of prison during that time.
Residents of Nampa's Community Reentry Center volunteer at various nonprofits in our area. This group of residents volunteered their time to help Special Olympics Idaho build a training center for their athletes.
We have different stories where we feel that we've taken from the community and we wanted to start giving those things back.
Lenny Williams is a resident of Nampa CRC and says community service has helped change his life for the better.
It's nice for guys like us because we get an opportunity to get out, give back a little bit to the community. One of the things that spoke to me about this particular program was the strength of the athletes. I mean, just their dedication through adversity is something that we can all get behind.
And according to Nampa CRC, these projects are crucial for helping the men re-enter society for good by learning social skills and sharpening their trade skills.
The majority of our guys that get out after doing these projects do really well. So we actually see a lowering of recidivism.
Once construction completes, all Special Olympics athletes can use the training center, and the Nampa CRC residents like Lenny can continue building their place back in society.
I think it's more important that people step out if they have it in their heart to service or volunteer. It's out there for them. It's easy to get a hold of. If they'd let guys from Nampa CRC come out and help, I'm sure they'd appreciate the assistance of anyone else.
Olympics Idaho hopes to have the facility complete by the end of the year so athletes can start training in it for their Special Olympic Games coming up here in March.